Hello guys and girls, welcome back to another episode on the Falcon YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing really well as usual. Thank you for tuning in. And in this episode, we want to be talking about, can Forex trading be self-taught? Well, firstly, I would love to know, because I know a lot of you have, are you self-taught? Have you learned a lot of things where you just started maybe learning on YouTube and things like that? Maybe you've even learned a few things from our channel. Are you a self-taught trader, or have you taken various courses, mentorship, guidance, whatever it may be? I'd love to know in the comments and how that's worked out for you. Well, the short answer is you can be self-taught. I mean, we can be self-taught with anything, but there will come a certain time in your journey where you will need to seek some guidance. You'll come to a plateau, or we'll need a little bit of assistance. So for my own self, my own journey, a few examples I want to explain that I think will give a bit of perspective is this. So I am a musician, so I love playing the guitar. Now, I'm a self-taught guitarist. Is that necessarily a good thing? Well, I can play a lot of things, but the moment that it hit me is when someone asked me to play the E pentatonic scale. I said, well, what's that? I didn't know how to do that. And what I realized is I could play a lot of things, and I knew what I knew very, very well. So I knew how to play the songs that I knew very well. But when you asked me to do certain things, I just didn't know how to do it. And I had lots of bad habits that didn't really seem like a problem at the start, that were there in the long run. So as soon as I started to get a bit of guidance, miraculously, progression started going through the roof. So it's not that you can't do well or you can't be successful in any industry being self-taught, because there are lots of people who are self-taught guitarists that are incredible. So there's nothing wrong with that. What I am saying is that for the majority of us, is that seeking guidance can help speed up that progression. So you have to understand why you want to be self-taught in the first place. So is it an ego thing? So is it that you just want to be able to tell everyone that I never got any help from anyone, and I'm fully self-made and self-taught? Sometimes our ego can sabotage us and we don't even know why that's happening. Seeking guidance it's not a weak thing. It speeds up the progression and it saves you a lot of time and money. So it depends how you see it. It's a little bit like fitness. Think of it like this. People don't realize how these bad habits can be very costly in the long run. So for example, for myself, recently I have an issue with my shoulder. I've had that for about a year, I would say, about maybe a little bit longer than a year actually. And that didn't matter when I was training, because when I was training, I was getting in better shape and I was doing all these things, but my form wasn't as good as what it could be. Now, on lower weights and things like that, it wasn't really an issue. But because I wasn't pinning my shoulders back and I was overextending when I was doing things like bench press, now I had an issue with my rotary cuff. And what you don't realize is that on smaller weights, sometimes you can actually be making progression. So what I mean is that sometimes you can appear to be making progression. So you could look at yourself and someone could say, hold on a minute, your form's not that great. The ego can come in and say, well, who are you to tell me that? I'm doing well, I'm looking better, I'm looking in better shape, not realizing that as soon as you lift bigger weight, that same form will mess you up in the long run and create injuries, which it has done for me. So now I'm paying the price to that and I'm rebuilding that the right way. So that's something that I've learned, and I've learned that from music, I've learned that from fitness. And when it comes to trading, remember, of course you can be self-taught. There's a lot of great self-taught traders, but for the majority of people, even people that were self-taught and that have done well, they would have at one point sought some level of guidance that helps assist them, because you will plateau. You will reach a certain level where you do need someone to look at it and say, right, don't do that, and you will actually be more successful if you just learn how to apply these certain things. But again, sometimes you have to get out of your own way to then get to the next level. So that has something that has helped me massively along my journey. So music, I always go back to that. Fitness, I'm experiencing that now and leveling up massively this year because I've got out of my own way. And I've realized that, do you know what? It's not about what we know. It's about doing the right things the right way and building it up. So I'm very, very excited for myself. I would love to know in the comments, maybe a story of something else, whether it be fitness, whether it be something else, so music, it could be anything where you've been self-taught and that you've got to a certain level where you've needed that extra help and that guidance. And when you've had that guidance, it's helped you break through to so many other levels. So yeah, from a lot of questions that come into us, they often ask, Mark, can Forex trading be self-taught? Can I just learn on myself online for free? Of course you can. It might take you 10 years, but you definitely can. Can you speed that up a lot quicker by seeking guidance from mentors, courses? Of course you can. So invest in yourself. It really comes down to the perspective of time. So time is huge for me. It's the one thing, think about that for a moment. Time is the one thing that you can't ever get back. So we know that, we can all agree on that. So if time is at the essence and time is important to you, wouldn't you want to save time? Wouldn't you want to have that precious commodity? Because, when you're 20, 30 years old, these kind of ages, in your early teens, you don't think about time so much. You think, oh, that's fine, I've got loads of time. That's fine, I don't need to worry about that. It's only when you're 80, 90 years old is when that will be an issue, when you think, well, time is very important. So start to look at it from the future you and reverse engineer and ask yourself, what would the 90-year-old you, think about that, what would the 90-year-old you say to yourself about get rid of your ego, drop the ego and seek some help? Because the help is what is going to get you to those levels, and time is important. You could change a lot of lives, your family's lives, all these things, if you was to drop your ego and actually seek the right assistance, the right guidance. So that's definitely helped me along my journey as well for trading. I've done various courses, I've learned from incredible mentors, and each one has taught me something different. And although from the very beginning, when I first started learning in stocks, patterns were a big thing for me, so that always stuck out. And I think even me being dyslexic is what helped, because I struggled with a lot of basic things in trading. Massive, real basic things that are almost kind of laughable to even talk about, like lower lows, higher lows, all that kind of stuff. I was tongue twisted. So when I first started learning how to trade, these were difficult for me to spot these things, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. But then you showed me patterns, I was able to spot them. And that may have been because me being dyslexic, my mind works slightly differently. So I was able to see things in patterns. If you know anybody that's dyslexic, that has had trouble reading the alphabet and learning the alphabet, what do? They make the alphabet out of clay. Why? Because they visually see it. So you need to play to your strengths. Focus on your strength. Remember the old quote? If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life thinking it's stupid. So just understand that and take that into perspective. Focus on your strengths. Don't worry about what you're not good at. Double down on what you are good at. And that's exactly what I did. So I took little bits of information for each thing and I blended it into my own way of doing things. And I realized simplicity works because it works for my mind. It's easier to follow. It's more sustainable and I can see it clearly. So it was more about that learning from me. But again, very, very grateful for everybody that has influenced my trading in a positive way, from various mentors from the very beginning. I mean, it's been years in the making, whether it be mindset, whether it be something technical, something to do with risk management, a little bit of tweak. I'm very, very grateful to put me in the position to learn the way that I do that. So very grateful for that. And again, so of course you can be self-taught, but again, time is important to me. And if it's important to you, seek the right help. The best investment you can make is one in yourself. And if you're committed to growth, whether it be Forex trading or something else, you have to eventually get to a point that if you're really serious and you want to make big change in the world, and financially, in a mindset perspective, you've got to be around the people that are doing it. And that's the most important thing. So hope that helps. And again, really appreciate all the messages that you send in on a regular basis. I would love to know, by the way, we'll probably do a poll about this soon. We've done recently about trading from a technical perspective or psychology. What is the one thing that you would like from this channel? Now, of course, when it comes from a technical perspective, if you want to join that, then join our community. There's nothing that we're going to be able to show you in one YouTube episode that's going to teach you the strategy. There's so many modules and things that build on each other over a period of time for you to learn. But from a trading perspective generally, whether it be psychology or something else, what is the one thing that you feel like is missing for yourself that you would like some clarity or some help on? We would love to know. Leave it in the comments. And again, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the positive comments that you always leave and that you're always bringing those to the table, because we really appreciate them. And it just shows how committed you are to the channel. Remember, by you investing your time into the channel is investing back into you and helping you along your trading journey. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. Have an incredible weekend ahead.